Hello and welcome. This is WTK FM Rock Sports Time, and this is Paul Bristol, and alongside me is Brian Spivey, and we're going to be taking 15 minutes volunteer history. So Brian Spivey was an ex-center for the Volunteers, and before the game even started, the season started out a little slow. He had lost to Florida, lost to Alabama, and it would get a little more hairy as you guys went to your hotel and they pulled the fire alarm.
Oh yeah, in South Bend, I think they pulled it 10 times that night and everything. Eventually we just said, forget it, we're not even getting up anymore. Nobody ever went back outside. But that was interesting, but it was so cold. I think that's the reason people didn't want to go back outside, because it had snowed the day before we got there, and it was rather frigid.
You had talked about the conditions, and the game was a 12 o'clock game, is that correct?
I can't remember exactly what time the game was. It was one of the coldest games that I'd ever played in my career, through high school, college, anything. It was pretty frigid because, like I said, it just snowed, and they had cleared all that snow off the field, and they had left it all the way around, the field, and so you were getting that, and the wind was blowing, and it was pretty chilly. So, needless to say, anytime we got a chance to stay by the heaters, we were over there.
And not only was the fire alarms pulled before the game, but the facilities that you stayed in the locker room before the game was par.
Everybody talks about the history of Notre Dame Stadium and how how awestruck they are, how it's hadn't changed since so many years and everything. And trust me, they did not change the visitor locker rooms. I think we probably sat on benches that New Rockney had probably sat on before, and everything. We were doubled up in lockers, dressing. Usually we all had our own locker and had room to spread out and everything, and especially the SEC schools. All the SEC schools except for a few had nice visitor locker rooms. They were nice size, but this place, literally, you walked up a set of L-shaped concrete steps, and you went into this. It just opened up into this room that was basically wooden lockers around the perimeter, and then there was like back-to-back lockers in the center, but there was like maybe 10 of those, so there's 20, and 60 travel. Back then you could only travel 60 guys. Okay. Well, yeah, you could travel. We traveled 60 guys, and I mean, you got 20, and there was not 40 lockers on the outside. I bet there was probably 40 lockers total. So there was a lot of guys that were having to, double up, and you talk about big linemen trying to get their crap and move it together, and it was brutal. It was. Surely, if I could make a suggestion, if Notre Dame hears this, update your facilities, because they were terrible.
I'll be sure to spread the word for sure.
yeah. Make sure you send them a copy of this. Their visitor locker room was. I've been in middle school locker rooms that were nicer than that. It was absolutely pitiful.
So Johnny Majors and company leads you guys out on the field. You feel the field crunch beneath your feet, and within the first quarter, they jump out to a 31-0 lead. Do you think the night before and all the conditions really allowed that lead to get there?
I'm not sure if it was the night before or the conditions or whatever. We had played in some bad conditions before. That group of guys had, extreme heat and some places and extreme, like rain and stuff. Notre Dame had a really good offensive football team that year, and our defense was smaller in comparison, especially up front, and they we, just to be honest, we didn't match up well with them, our defense versus their offense. And they had a great quarterback, and they were established. Jerome Bettis was, I can't remember if it was his first or second year there. They had a stable of running backs, and we made a lot of mistakes. Dale Carter fumbles a punt, after we stop them, and gives them the ball back going in on the 45 or 46 yard line. 4 or 5 plays later, defense is already tired, and they have to go right back out there, and they score a touchdown, and then the offense does nothing, and then back down the field they go, and then Andy later on early in the first half throws a pick for pick 6, and just stared the guy down too long and everything, and
for sure. And so Notre Dame then takes a 31-7 lead.
Yes.
And it looked like they're about to go up 34-7.
But it'll be good point. It will be a 32-yard attempt, his longest 44.
And then Daryl Hardy blocked the kick.
Yes.
Daryl Hardy blocks. Floyd Miley picks. Miley wanders his way back and forth, and the 76-yard blocked field goal return turns this thing back Tennessee's way.
Yes. If Daryl doesn't block that kick, and Floyd, and we don't get something out of that, it might have been a different second half. Daryl Hardy was just one of those guys where, makes a big play, and then Floyd Miley, a great guy, and just bam, just makes something happen. The game maxims always say, if first the game or breaks go against you, don't let up, put on more steam. General Neyland had been there, and that's the reason he had the maxims, and that's the reason we always recited them before every game, because you can either lay there and keep getting your teeth knocked in, or you can get up, and keep moving forward and keep digging, and that's what we did, and that was the spark that we needed. It really was. So it was one of the biggest plays that I'd ever seen in Tennessee football history.
So you guys go into the locker room shortly after that.
Yep.
How did you guys feel after that blocked kick went for return?
Well, it had changed the momentum, and we had a little spark and everything, but we were still, Coach Majors came in, and after we always broke up in our groups, and of course, and we're going over stuff, and we're in this little locker room, and there's not really many places to go, and stuff. You got defense on one side, and you can hear them talking, and you can hear the offensive side talking, and the offensive guys are talking about how we got to pick it up because the defense is getting their butts kicked, and the defense is talking, we got to do it because the offense is not moving the football and scoring any points. So, and it's kind of weird when, but it was true. We're going to go out here, and we're going to swap punches, and no matter how bloody we get, somebody's going to leave here bloody too on the other team, and we'll see what happens. And that's what we did. We just went out there and just, left foot, right foot, just keep going. It was definitely a change of, you could just feel it, and everything. But we had a long ways to go, at the half, a long way to go. So, and but it was interesting.
So you guys come out of the locker room, instead of wide-eyed, you guys are determined. What was your thought process coming out of the locker room, ready to kick off the ball for the second half?
Well, our biggest thing is like, listen, let's take the ball and control the football. Defense, if you can just get us some possessions, let us do what we can do. And we kind of changed our philosophy. We said, listen, we got nothing to lose here. We're down, 31 to gosh, what was it, 31-7?
Yeah, 31-14.
31-14, and we got 30 minutes of football left. So let's go out here and let's let it all hang out and just whatever happens, happens. And I think we played a lot looser, and we played a lot more aggressive, and we played to win. We didn't play to keep from losing the football game. And we a lot of teams will go out there and say, oh, we got to do this, we got to do that, and everything, and they get so tight that they just forget about that it's a game, and everything. But we went out there and we were just going to lay it on the line, and one way or another we were going to get on a plane and fly home. Whether it be winning or a quiet trip of losers. So, I think that was the biggest thing.
They line up for a field goal, 34-35. What are you thinking on the sideline?
Well, I'm thinking this is either going to be, the greatest miss block that's ever happened, or I'm going to grab my stuff and run to the locker room. Get on a plane and try to forget this as fast as we can. We've come that far. Just ran out of time.
Leonard, the kick is up. The kick is good. No, it is no good. It is no good. It is.
And shoot, man, the ending to that game was elation. Beating them up there, and I could just remember, Coach Majors being so proud. And I think it was not so much that we won a game, is that we never quit. I think he was just so proud that, this is a team that never quit, that never gave up. And we end up in the season with 2 losses. And we end up going to a great bowl. We went to the Fiesta Bowl. We played Penn State. It was an unbelievable experience to go to Tempe and play there. And that's what you want, at the end. You want to end the year and go, and you want to get these nice bowl watches, and you want to get these. I still have the Stetson hat that they gave us for the Cotton Bowl. It still sits in my closet and everything. And I'll never, will I ever wear it? I don't know. But, that's what you play for. And, and when I see that, I remember every guy that was on that team. We were co-champions in the SEC that year. Got an SEC championship ring.
This win separated itself from many other wins.
Well, it's like what we talked about before. 60 guys said, we're not going to quit. We looked in each other's eyes at halftime and said, we're going to go out here and we're going to fight, and we're going to give everything we got. And whatever happens, happens. If we win the football game, it's going to be because of each one of us. Coach Majors used to say, the strength of the wolf is in the pack, and the strength of the pack is in each wolf. And that's kind of the mentality that you have to have, because wolves hunt in packs. And one wolf can't take down a bear, 20 of them can. And that's how he coached, and how he wanted you to look at each other, that you guys are a brotherhood, and you got to do it together. One man doesn't make or break this football team. That game in 91 shows you what a group of guys can accomplish if they don't give up, they keep digging, and they believe in one another, and they believe that the guy that's lined up next to them is going to give everything that he's got, and he's expecting you to give everything you got.
I'd like to thank you, Brian, and this has been Sports Time, the 15 minutes of volunteer history on WTK FM Rock Sports.